And just to bring everybody back up to speed on our Reputation 2.0 initiative, this was something that was launched probably not at the best of times for us. I think we launched at the beginning of July, but I wanted to give you a little bit of information on what it is. And basically, it is a continued focus by Stevens and the agency sales team. So it basically enhances the efforts of our sales team and our move coordination. And that Reputation 2.0 campaign includes all of our COD customers. The caveat here is that we need to make sure that our COD customers have their email addresses. So as long as you are providing the COD customer with the email address, we are including them in Reputation 2.0. And we have an added focus with our customer service advocates, our Jordan and our Barb Starr, who provide that customer service support. This is essentially an enhancement to the services that you are offering, and it's not so much to be viewed as the end point, but as a safety net for you.
Can I add something in here? Some of you have probably gotten calls from Jordan saying this customer or that customer contacted me. So his first step is to reach out to the agency. He's not necessarily to solve the problem, but to make sure that the right people are aware of the problem.
Good. And again, just to reaffirm that it is for COD customers. We're not including the national account customers or the military customers.
Next slide.
And what our objective here is to basically set realistic expectations throughout the move process for our customers. It is customized to pull and deliver to our COD customers based on some information that you're providing us in the system. First and foremost, we need that email address. And we need to make sure that the shipment status is updated regularly and promptly. So the two keys to this whole campaign are email addresses and shipment statuses. This builds on our nurturing campaign where we grow and develop our leads for you. Part of that process, we introduced the move coordinator to set their expectations. We also introduced the driver, which has been very well received by our customers. For those real estate customers that we have a special email that goes out to them that introduces the customer service advocate and lets them know that they're there to answer any questions if they feel like they're not getting any answers or they're not getting the answers that they like. So we do offer the customer service advocate up to real estate customers only at this point. Part of that email program also offers important tips about tax day, load day, and delivery day. So.
And in just a minute, I think Brenda's going to show you where you can see all of those emails if you want to see them or if you want to use pieces of the information or whatever, you're welcome to do that. Also, if you have gotten any feedback from any of your customers or team members that would help us to fine-tune this, please share that with Brenda and I, because it's new, it's different. There have been a couple little snags along the way, but I think based on some surveys that we're doing out to folks who've received it, it does add value, and we just need to polish it up as we go.
And just to give you a little bit of background on the different phases of our messaging, basically our first phase, or phase one, is the book move, where we reach out to the customer. We thank them for booking their move with us. We introduce them to the move coordinator. For those agents that don't have designated move coordinators, we put the agency name in with the agency contact information. So we might not be able to specify a person at that level, but we definitely give the customer your information. Phase one, we still offer them some helpful moving tips. As they progress into phase two, we give them the down and dirty, what to expect on pack day and what to expect on load day. As the shipment status confirms and the driver confirms the load, we introduce them to their driver, and at the end of that series, we give them information what to expect on delivery day, hoping that they're there to check off the items as they come off the truck and to analyze them for any damages or anything like that. So we do have that supplemental message there for our customer service advocate, and then of course we have the thank you message that goes out after they've been delivered to their home, and after they've gotten a little bit of time to adjust, we send that out.
So really the objective here is we have an obligation, excuse me, as a van line, as a carrier, to provide our customers with the Department of Transportation FMCSA's rights and regulations, or excuse me, responsibilities and rights. We know many customers are overwhelmed during this process and they're not reading that document. So there often is a misconception about what role they play during the packing process, during the loading process, and during the delivery process. It's not always received well when we're in the house selling the move. And so this is intended to help set a realistic expectation by the customer of what will be expected of them. It really tries to deal with the brochures that show us virtually lifting the customer up on a cloud and moving them from origin to destination, when in reality they have a responsibility as part of the process, because we have to agree on the items that we're shipping. We have to agree on the condition of those items that we're shipping, both at origin and at destination. So we're just pointing out the things that are their rights and their responsibilities in the process, so that after delivery, they're not judging us against an unrealistic expectation. Because remember, perception is reality.
And just to give you a little bit of information, a little diagram here about the flow of the actual emails. It comes into our system as a book. Move with Stevens, we go ahead and we send the first segment of emails out. As it progresses and the shipment status becomes confirmed, they transfer into the second segment of emails, so forth with the customer service and also delivery stages. So it's just a little diagram to help you gain a better perspective of what it is that we are sending the emails to the customers.
And at the risk of sounding like a broken record, emails and having that email in the system is what can help, what will prompt us or allow us to go ahead and move forward this. If any of you have concerns about sharing that email, let us understand that better too.
And just a couple examples of the emails that actually go out to the people. Again, we customize that with the agent contact information, and your information is included with each and every one of those emails that we send out.
So again, we are not here to circumvent the relationship that you have with your customer. We've recognized that that realtor partnership that you've got is your national account. And so this is our job to help support that relationship and be your back office and that safety net again for you and for your customer to make sure that the investment you've got in those relationships is solid.
And later today in your inbox, you're going to find an email from Brenda in the marketing department, and that'll contain some more information about the email campaign so you can get a good feel and grasp for what it is that we're sending. We'll send some examples and that kind of thing. If you have any questions or concerns or want to discuss this further with us, please don't hesitate to reach out to us in the marketing department. We have additional information in the Pulse system for you and in the agency newsletter.
Next slide. Do you want to talk?
Sure.
You've touched on this before.
Sure. So the customer service advocates, okay, it is headed by Jordan Wheeler, and Jordan's in the Corporate Move Center, and he's got backup assistance from Barb Starr as well as all of the rest of the coordinators so that every customer that makes a contact with us will have access to help. It is designed to streamline that access for help. It's the equivalent of handing out a business card that says, in the event that no one else can solve your issue or listen to your question, here's somebody who is on your side. Excuse me. And it's also a way that we can keep track of situations where you no longer have control over the shipment. The example we give here are overflows. When will the overflow be picked up? So we want to be able to, we have somebody that is tracking that for you because we know that information better than you do. Okay? So what happens then is that every person that receives this email has an opportunity to reach out to the customer service advocate, and then we mark the shipment so that we've got somebody that is following it through resolution.
Can I just put a plug in for the team?
Yeah.
I've heard those folks in action, and I've dealt with them, and I can tell you that they're very, very peaceful. They're very much there to connect the right people. So it's a good resource, and they do a great job.
Okay. So what they are there for is to listen to the customer, listen to their issue, move that issue through the organization as quickly as they can, and follow through till a resolution has been reached. But what they are not there for, okay, they are not there to solve the problem. So they are the point person to make sure that the problem does get solved, but they really don't have the decision-making ability to solve all of the problems. It is not a new type of move coordinator, so the customer service advocate is not calling the customer on 2 days before pack day, on load day, on delivery day. And definitely they are never there or intended to replace the relationship and the responsibilities that you as the agent or your salesperson has with their client. They are not there to find a new dispatch plan or search for a solution. They're not going to replace move coordinators, and they're not capable of making claims or after delivery decisions. But they are there to make sure that if a customer has reached out to Stevens and has identified that they have a situation that we need to deal with, that that situation flows through the system and does not get pushed aside and forcing the customer to find their own solution. Okay.
Any questions from anybody? I see a couple of things over on the right. Shar, can you, is that a, doesn't really look like a hand maybe. We've got some warning signs. What are those warning signs for?
They're on a different page.
Watching the screen. If you could.
I can't hear you.
Okay, we got that. They got that better. So.
Good.
Shall we take a risk here and do an unmute just to give one chance to?
Yes, let's do that. Okay, we're going to unmute, and if anybody has any questions or comments or ideas, you see down at the bottom where it says mute all under the names? Yeah.
You might have to individually unmute them.
Do you want to do the ones that question or just all of them?
Click on the green mic.
There.
Okay, well, we can hear you breathing and eating lunch now, and
So
as we unmute you, if you have any questions or comments or insights, let us know.
Can you guys hear me?
Cacophony now.
Yes. Is that you, Katie?
Yes, it is. I'm here with two-man movers, Mike Simmons, Rob, and Jordan.
Okay.
Great job working through the technical difficulties. I have one question. Do you think that we could share out to everybody on the line or all of our agents? You had a couple examples of the email, what it looks like and the verbiage and everything, but if we could get a list of all of those together in the examples and send that out to the agents, I think that would be very beneficial.
Yep, absolutely. That's part of what's going out. It's also, it was used in that pulse that we listed up there on the 7th of July. But we're going to send it out afterwards too, Katie.
Perfect.
Thank you. Anybody else have a question? Okay. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and remute those lines while they go forward, but if by chance you do have a question, don't forget to just type it into the question using your keyboard.
So if we move forward, and we want to keep on going a little bit here, if you don't mind. Let's start talking now a little bit about the reasons that we need to consider reputation management. We have a few different reasons: local optimization, reviews and ratings, which we all know are important to everybody. The possibility of getting some of those negatives removed from our review sites, and also to increase our social media marketing. So if we move forward here, let's go into the local optimization. I don't know how many of you have a phone book laying around your house, but we use our phone book at our house as a hot pad. So let's just say that increasingly people are turning to the internet to look for their service providers. And we know that it's always nice to land on the first page of a search that gets you the most traffic. So reputation management will help you increase your optimization and hopefully allow you to be seen and viewed by the customers that are looking for your services. Reviews and ratings. Unfortunately, we have to admit that these things sometimes exist. More so than not, they're the negatives and not the positives. So we need to be aware that our customers are going out to these sites like Angie's List, like Yelp, like Moving Scans, and all those other ones, and they're posting things about us. And having a reputation management service in place allows us to better analyze what's being posted, when it's being posted, and help us control what it is that we're seeing out there.
And not only that, Brenda, but consider that you're going to make an online purchase, and perhaps your whole life you only ever bought Sony TVs, but now you go on to Amazon and you're looking for a TV, and you get ratings for a Samsung that are far out better than those of a Sony. Now you're dealing with people who have had an experience with a product and are telling you their viewpoint. So it's opening up the world to a product that you probably didn't know about before, where in the past you'd go to your local dealer and whatever they offered is what you had to choose from. Well, the same thing is happening with our business. Our customers don't have the same word of mouth or opportunity to see us every day, but they do have the opportunity to find out others that have chosen our service and how they felt about it and their reaction to it. So those ratings are extremely important. Yep. And we can influence them.
Let me just put in one other thing about the rating. And we keep saying it, but it's so important to influence those ratings and for us to leverage the positives, because there are lots of ways out there, and I'm sure you've experienced it, but even if they're looking up Stevens, that's the perfect opportunity for some of our competitors to come in with their materials at the same time online. So we've got to put our very best foot forward.
And believe it or not, a reputation management service provider can help you work to remove those negatives. We know that people go in and they see the negatives. We know that sometimes some of the information that they include in their post is not always accurate. So what a reputation management service provider does is they help you. They know the ins and the outs of what each one of the review sites requires from the poster error as a comment, and they can go in and they have a few different tools that they can use to dispute some of the negative information that they see.
So consider this, the reputation aggregating sites, Yelp, Angie's List, they really don't care whether the customer finds the best service provider or not. They're at it for advertising revenue. So they have rules on why something can be posted and why it can't be posted. So for all of the unfair impressions that we get, there are thousands of great impressions that never get there. So you don't have to sit back in your office and go, gosh, I wish that person wouldn't have put that on there. Every one of these reputation aggregator sites has rules that allows an impression to stick. And these reputation management professionals understand those rules and can get things pulled down that you and I can't get pulled down on our own. And that's just as important as getting the positive impressions out there.
Do you have some, Barb? Okay. And finally, social media marketing. We all like to think that we're going to post every day to our Facebook or post every day to our Twitter, but we know that oftentimes the day-to-day business operations are more important, and things like social media kind of get left by the wayside. So a social media marketing provider can also assist you in developing and growing your social reputation.
Another point with social media, sometimes I hear that and I go, well, how are they going to know what I want to post? They don't know me. Well, they may not know us individually or what's going on at your location, your office with your people, and they can't take that shot of so-and-so at the ball game and put it up there. But what they can do is cover us on all of the other more generic opportunities and share things that are on our websites. In social networking, there's a general rule of thumb that you're going to want to do a lot more. It varies where you go, but it's like 60-40 at the very least. More that's just friendly, engaging to get your followers and likes up. And then we can slowly infuse that with information about our businesses.
And we give you a little bit of information here. If you're interested in working with a provider, the cost is relatively inexpensive for the services that they offer, with a base package at $249 a month. And then if you wanted to add your social media component into that, it's an additional $100. So for $350 a month, you have all of your review sites covered. They're constantly going out and looking, in your best interest and supporting you. And they're also making posts to your social media pages.
Those are special rates that we negotiated for Stevens and for our agents. So you would need to go through the contact tool. We'll give you in a second. I also wanted to let you know that we did a lot of looking and comparing and checking up on folks before we went with the company called Reputation Impression. So I would certainly be able to give my recommendation to them, to any of you. Do any of you that have experience with them so far have any feedback to share? If you wanted to put up your hand, we could unmute you. I know we've got a couple of agents that are using Reputation Impression also with some satisfactory responses as well. Go ahead.
Looks like we have a bunch of shy people today. If we move forward here, we have a little bit of contact information here for, and I won't even try to slaughter Joe's last name, Joe from Reputation Impression. He is our salesperson. He's our primary contact at Reputation Impression, and is available to our agents with any questions or concerns going forward. Also, to let you know, those of you who will be joining us at the convention in October, Reputation Impression and Joel will be part of our exhibit area, and they will have a booth. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask us in the marketing department, go directly to Joe, or if you're going to be at the convention and want to visit with them, we really encourage that.
Do you have any final questions or comments from the CAD team to share with the group?
Well, I know that this has been an area that we've all been extremely concerned about, and I think we had a lot of content here today. Questions, concerns afterwards, please contact one of us, and we'll be glad to try to answer your question or get the answer or provide you with whatever information you need. Do have October 15th will be our next webinar, and that is on real estate pricing. So we hope you all can join us for that, and thank you very much for joining us today.
This is Joe again. I'd like to thank you all again for joining us. We understand how important it is for that reputation to be stellar. We know the investment that you're making in your local markets to create those relationships, and we will continue to do things that will support that. Leaving you with that last thing of get those email addresses in, please, because we can't help you without them. Understand that your customer can always opt out, so there's always an option for them to opt out.
And convention, again, the registration is going to close within 2 weeks.
So if you haven't registered for the convention, there's still time to do so.
It's going to be fun and informative, and Reputation Impression will be there along with some other great vendors to share. And come visit me in the marketing booth.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.